Attention passengers, this is your pilot speaking. Opening your flight window shades is now prohibited until further notice. The airline is not liable for any psychological distress experienced from viewing outside. The intercom clicked off after the pilot said his piece. It was the standard hoo-ha that they had to say on these flights. The ship would be returning to the same port from which it set out. This wasn't a journey to somewhere, it was a journey through something. Alicia walked up the aisle offering blackout goggles to anyone that had cold feet. A young couple took 2 pairs, the man was pale and his partner was disappointed. She offered some to an old couple, they declined. No surprise. Seeing the fates wasn't something one should do when they're young. That was why she was so bothered by the next row of passengers. Okay, kids, are you ready? It was a father and his 2 children. Not yet old enough to drive but old enough to make themselves a simple meal. Both little girls. All 3 of them looked excited. Attendee Alicia had talked with them before the flight, pulled the father aside, and talked with him alone. She laid out that perhaps seeing the fates was a decision that needed to be left up to the girls when they came of age. He told her to mind her own fucking business. Typical response from these people. With a sad smile, she offered the glasses to the 3 and before either of the girls could respond for themselves he aggressively let her know that they wouldn't be needing them. She heard shades sliding up and people gasping. Then the sound of air whistling. The telltale sign that the fates were taking people. Most often the beings, the fates, whatever they really were, took 1 out of 10 people and the rest of those on the flight witnessed wondrous sights. They could never describe what they saw when asked but they lived the rest of their lives happy and more often than not they found comfortable success. There were rumors, conspiracy theories really, that some of those that had seen what the fates had to show were driven mad by the sight. That's why they now had the disclaimer read aloud when they entered the fates territory. Alicia had once been on a flight where the fates had taken all but 1 person. The flight had been mostly booked up by a religious group that claimed that the fates wasn't real and they booked their seats to prove to the rest of their congregation that there should be no false gods before their God or some such nonsense. The 1 person left had been their pastor. He spoke at length on the flight back about how he was going to start a jet ski business when he got home. No mention of his wife and kids that had been taken by the fates. The attendee felt their craft bank to the left. In 10 seconds they would be out of the zone. At the count of 15, she began her walk back down the aisle with a drink cart. Everyone that looked out of the window and remained took a water. They always did. And they looked happy, at peace. Even the 2 little girls. Alicia wondered who would take care of them now that their father was gone.